What's going on, y'all? Coach David here. I'm here with another video for 400 meter runners, and I'm going to try to get straight to the point. Sorry if it's windy out here, but it is what it is. So for this video, I want to talk about what is very, very common on the internet within the past several years. I feel like overemphasizing the speed element for 400 meter runners. And what that is, that information on the internet is, speed is king. The short to long approach is king. It's all about getting faster and working on having a better speed reserve to run a faster 400. Here's what I say about that. Here's the truth. In a perfect world, yes, you have your pure sprinters who can just add a little bit of stamina to their foundation and some tempo training and run a great 400 in a perfect world. Sure, that's easy. Here's reality. Not everybody, most people who run the 400 on the non-elite level, most people who run the 400 aren't sprinters, okay? You don't have elite speed. Now, a lot of the coaches would say in that scenario, well, that's why you need to work on your speed. Well, to that, I say this. It is very, very, very hard to improve speed significantly. I would almost say impossible. Yes, it's a thing. Everyone can improve speed. Speed is a skill, yada, yada, yada. Sure. But let's be real. The reality of that is speed can be improved, sure, but not to the level that people want. Most people want. Now, I'm not talking about those with elite speed right now. I'm talking about the 400 meter runner that has good stamina, but they don't have elite speed. Most people are in that scenario. You're really a mid-distance runner. You don't want to run the 800. You'd rather run the 4 because that's what you enjoy the most. That person is not going to improve their speed significantly in any reasonable amount of time. And so what they'll end up doing, what those individuals will end up doing is listening to those coaches, that short to long approach. It sounds great. It sounds like a great solution. It makes sense on paper. And all fall, they'll be doing block starts and short hill sprints and short 30 meter sled sprints, trying to work on their speed. And track season will hit and they'll have an amazing first 150 meters of the 400, and then they'll die because they're not in condition to run a good 400. And they don't have elite speed to be able to have a speed reserve to run a good 400. That's reality. If it were possible to significantly improve speed, then college programs would be able to bring 400 meter runners, 800 meter runners down into the shorter distances. If it were possible to improve speed in a significant way, you wouldn't have some athletes that go into their college career as sprinters and then ending up in the 400 because that's where they're more competitive, more so than the 100. If it were possible just to improve speed like that. It's rare that you have an athlete that is not competitive, doesn't have elite speed, and in a year or two, you significantly improve them to be competitive. That's very, very, very rare. Oftentimes, I won't get into those details, but just know that that's rare and it's very unlikely for that to happen. It's a lot easier and it's more likely for you to be able to improve your speed endurance, right? This doesn't mean that you don't work on speed. You still work on speed, but you don't overemphasize it. You don't only work on speed. You don't even make it a priority in the fall season. From September to December, you're not just doing 30-yard sprints and accelerations all day. You're trying to build a base You're trying to ignore the coaches that are saying, well, you shouldn't run 800 meters or you shouldn't run a mile. It's the wrong energy system and you're going to get slow. Listen, I'm telling you right now, if you want to run a good 400, and I'm not talking about being a podium finisher. If you want to maximize your potential and run a good 400 and you don't have elite speed, you almost have no choice but to work on your speed endurance, right? What else are you going to do? You can't just spend time doing 30 meter sprints. Look at some of the athletes that run the 400 right now. They have elite speed. Yes, they have elite speed. You know, thinking about athletes like Sydney McLaughlin, thinking about athletes like old school athletes like a Michael Johnson or an Allison Felix or any of those athletes. They're elite sprinters. They can go down, they can come up. Usain Bolt could have come up to the 400, he just didn't want to. But they have elite speed. If you have elite speed, then training is going to be a lot simpler. You know, you already have speed. You just have to maximize what you're already good at and add a little bit of stamina to that. If you don't have elite speed, though, it's an illusion to make you think that you can just get it. And again, I'm not saying that you can't improve your speed. Everyone, for the most part, most people can improve their speed somewhat. I'm not talking about being able to improve your speed a little bit. Most people wouldn't be happy with improving their speed a little bit, right? I'm talking about significantly, which that's what I'm saying is not likely to be possible. If you are a 11.8, if you're a young woman that sprints 100 meters in 11.8, chances are you're not going to drop all the way down to a 10.9. I'm talking about an adult woman, by the way. You're not going to drop all the way down to a 10.9. Can you improve your speed a little bit? Sure, but it's not going to be what you would like. If you're a guy and you're running 11.1, you're 16 years old or older, you're not coming all the way down to a 10.1. You're not coming down to a 10.2, 10.3, unless you were injured or something like that running that 11.1. All things being healthy, chances are you're not going to improve your speed that much. So what's the best thing for you to do? I think the best thing is to maximize what you're good at. Because the reality, again, is not everyone who runs the 400 is actually in the right event. It's true. Maybe as far as what your physical gifts are, you should probably be an 800-meter runner. Technically, that's probably the truth. Trust me, I'm speaking from experience. As a coach and an athlete, you should probably be an 800-meter runner. But maybe you don't want to run the 8, and that's fine. Maybe you enjoy the 4. That's fine. I think there's more to sports than just winning. You know, I think it's phenomenal, and I think it's great for you to do something because you enjoy it. So, but as long as you understand what you're up against, and what is true, and what can be true is you're naturally a mid-distance runner. You understand that 400 meters is a sprint endurance type event. You don't have elite speed, but that's okay. So you're going to focus. You're going to continue. You're going to do a little speed work. You're going to do strength and power work, but you're also going to really maximize what you're good at, which is the speed endurance side, and you're going to perform to the best of your potential. That is a much better bet than spending the whole off season doing 30-meter sprints and then going into your race, your competitive season out of shape and dying after 100 and 150 meters because you're trying to keep up with the guys that are taking off at a 22-second pace, and your fastest 200 is 24. Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a better bet for you to work on what you're good at, especially when you know that you're probably a half miler anyway. as far as where you would be more competitive naturally. So that's my rant. Yeah. Let me know what your comments are. Let me know what you think. Do you believe, and it really doesn't even matter what you believe. It really matters what is actually happening. You know, I can believe and hope all day that I can make an athlete elite fast. But like many other coaches, I've tried for almost 2 decades. I've talked to many other coaches who are more experienced than me, who've been in the game a lot longer, and they'll tell you people have a genetic ceiling, and you have what you're naturally good at. You know, so don't get too caught up in, I need to work on my speed, I need to work on my speed. Don't get too caught up in that. Yes, sure, it's a thing, and yeah, I'm not saying don't work on it, but also don't shy away from the hard work of speed endurance. Don't get caught up in the whole notion of, well, so-and-so never ran over 300 meters. Well, you're not him. You're not her. Maybe you need to do 600 meter work. Maybe you need to do that longer work to perform to your potential. You can't really compare yourself to someone that has a different profile than you. You can't. It is what it is. So that's my rant. I hope that you're getting after it, or you plan on getting after it this fall season. We just uploaded a few 400 meter programs. I'll include the link in the description below. A couple of them are modeled after Clyde Hart's programming methods. I just made it a little bit more functional for the athlete to be able to use. There's also a couple other outlines that are really good, and they're meant, again, going after the intentionality aspect and progression, they're meant to be usable. So they're not just workouts that are just printed out on a PDF. They're actually put in a usable format, and with the hopes and with the idea that it will help you get better this fall season. So that link is below. I hope you plan on getting after it. Work on building your base this fall. Whatever you think your weaknesses were last season, work on that. Get into the weight room a little bit. Actually start doing real strength training. Don't follow those gimmicks. The basics do work if you work them consistently. Get a stopwatch. Get some kind of cheap Timex handheld stopwatch, $5, $10, whatever. You get a stopwatch and track your workouts, track your rest time, be strict with your rest times, and enjoy. You know, don't compare yourself, just enjoy the process. Get out there, grab a training partner, get the work done, suffer together or alone. Get the work done so that you can really enjoy the track season, knowing that all the work that you put in is going to pay off, and you're going to perform to the best of your ability. I hope that rant helped. If you have any thoughts, comments, shoot me a message, drop a comment below. All right, peace.